You always want to work somewhere that gives you a good sense at the end of the day that you made things just a little bit better and that you contributed to the greater good. Working in a charity gives you that in spades. I'm Jacqueline Cassidy. I work for Children in Scotland and I'm Head of External Affairs. I am responsible for our strategic development around partnerships, around income generation and around maintaining our strategic relationships. I actually started my career in publishing. I've worked in the public and private sector. I've worked for a think tank in Westminster, which was a really interesting part of my career. I ran a small charity in Kent. All of it leads to this point. I wanted to learn more about the structures of business, how business works. There was an opportunity of a scholarship to Edinburgh Business School. I was thrilled that I was offered the scholarship. When you're working in an organisation like Children in Scotland, you're very clear what you're trying to achieve. It's about making a more equal and fair society. I think I have lots of career experience around political and social, but I think from my MBA, I have the business and financial context as well. That is helping me to understand how we can create structural change. When you have a family and you're working, you're just juggling all the time and you're moving from one thing into the next thing. It's never easy to do all of that, but I think the most important thing is probably to be in the moment. My husband has been incredibly supportive. He has provided me with cups of tea and midnight snacks while I'm studying. In terms of career and work and children, we share and it's very balanced, and I'm very fortunate that we have a kind of very equal relationship in that regard. Also from my mum, who did so much childcare, picked up kids from school, just really made sure it was possible for me to achieve the MBA. My son is actually on Children in Scotland's Changing Our World panel, and that group directs some of the work that we do. So he's delighted and he really thinks that he's my boss, which is quite an interesting dynamic. When I went to America on the Winston Churchill Fellowship, I took my daughter with me. Every time I was visiting a facility for children and older people, she came along with me. I think it's really important to have children's perspective. We can't do anything for children and young people unless we know what they think and what they want. Being a mum in a children's charity, obviously I'm bringing a lot of personal perspective. I think it's great for them to see an example of a working mum. They can see the benefit of what we do. They can see why you need an organisation like Children in Scotland campaigning for the rights of children and young people, ensuring their voices are heard. Every child deserves that opportunity. If we look at some of those children and young people who aren't able to access resources, they're individually losing, but we are collectively losing. I just know that there's more that I can do, and we need to be just doing our best to make sure that everybody lives to their fullest potential. We'll collectively be better for it by having a more equal society.